Hello soulmates, welcome back again to another video. My name is Jenny. So today's video is going to be a special one again because it's a requested tutorial from a subscriber of mine. Today's video is a cutting and sewing of a wrap top, not just a wrap top, but a wrap top that has a band at the neck area. So this is actually what I'm putting on right now. You can see. So if this sounds like what you're interested to learn, don't forget to keep on watching, and also don't forget to subscribe, like, and keep on supporting this channel. So without wasting your time, guys, let's get into the video. Welcome back again, soulmate. So guys, this is the fabric that I'll be using for today's tutorial. So I have this crepe fabric, is a shiny crepe. So I will not be making use of the shiny part. I'll be making use of the other part. Okay, so go ahead and fold your fabric into two like this. Then you divide your shoulder by two and add it them. So go down by ½ inch for shoulder slope. Then from that shoulder slope, you come down by your armhole length, which is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Mine is 7.5. Placing it on the shoulder, I came down by 10 inches for my bust points. Then I came down to the actual length of the top, which is 20 inches, okay? Then I went up by 17 inches for my half length. So just determine the length of your top. So if you want it to be shorter than mine, you can go up by 18 inches, okay? After marking the point at this other part, I went ahead to add 1.5 inches for the stitching allowance, okay? So after that, the next thing to do is to connect the points together. So after connecting the point together, I went ahead to divide my bust measurement by 4 on the chest line. Then I marked what I have on the shoulder area to give me like a straight line for the armhole length. So after doing that, I added my stitching allowance of 1.5. After doing that, go ahead and connect it together. So there was a little shortage at this part. I went ahead to remark it again. Then after that, go ahead and connect to your armhole curve like this. So the seam allowance I added was much because I'm not using lining in turning, okay? So I'm not turning it with lining. So for the neck width is actually 3 inches. For the neck depth, so I used 1 inch. Go ahead and connect the curve and also connect your shoulder slope, okay? So what you have at the bust area, extend it to the bust point line. Then divide your waist measurement by 4. Then you are going to add your stitching allowance. So you can add up to 1 inch because we are not using lining on this top, okay? So whatsoever you have on the half length, go ahead and mark it also at the hemline, okay? So then you go ahead and connect your points together from the chest line all the way to the hemline of the top. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. So this is it, guys. So remember the seam allowance for the hemline was 1.5. Please take note of that. We are going to make use of it at the front. So go ahead and cut this out. So for the seam allowance, you can actually reduce it, but if you are using a lining, you can make use of that 1.5. But if you are not using a lining, I think 1 inch is enough, okay? So guys, after cutting the back, this is what we have. So I'm going to pin it down to hold the fabric together. We are going to be using this to cut out the front, okay? So this is the back piece. So guys, go ahead and fold a fabric that is way bigger than that of the back, okay? So after folding, this is what we have. I've placed the back on the fabric like this. So towards the center back, you can see that there is a space at that part. So to achieve that space, divide your waist measurement by 4 and place it there. Okay, so mine is 7.5. That is what I placed. So that was the space. Towards that part, you are going to go up by 1.5 inches, which is the stitching allowance we left, okay? Then from that 1.5, go up by 2 inches. So that is the width of the band. I hope you understand. So make sure the length of the front and the back is the same, okay? So don't forget that stitching allowance. That is it. You mark the stitching allowance, then from that stitching allowance of 1.5, go up by 2 inches. I hope you understand. Towards that folded part at that center back, you can see that space towards the center back, which is going to give us the wrap effect. We have the total of 3.5 at that area. Now we are going to determine the neck depth of the front, how open you want it to be. So I marked out 7 inches. Then I realized it's going to reveal much. So I went up by 6.5 inches. So if you are using 7 inches, by the time you add the belt, what you are going to get is 6.5. I hope you understand. I made use of 6.5 for the neck depth. That means after adding the band, I'm going to have 6 inches. I hope you understand. So you can go as low as you want, depending how you want it to be. Now I'm going to connect from the neck width. So make sure you mark the neck width, okay? Mark it out, then connect from the neck width to that 6.5 inches for the neck depth of the front. Then from that 6.5 inches, I'm going to connect all the way to that point. You can see that wrap effect point. Connect all the way to that point like this. So after doing that, guys, the next thing now to do is to go ahead and cut it out. So every other thing at the side is the same, okay? The front and the back is the same. So just go ahead and cut it out. So the only difference between the front and the back is that wrap we have at the front. That wrap effect we have at the front, that is the only difference, okay? Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. So guys, after cutting, this is what we have now. We have the front and the back. Now I'm going to open up this part. That's that wrap effect area that is still unfold. I'm just going to cut it open like this. So after that, the next thing is to remove the pin. So go ahead and remove the pin, and you are going to notch this part. So you can see that line towards the center back like that. Go ahead and notch it on the front piece. I hope you understand. So after doing that, now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and open up the front part like this. So when you open it up, this is what you are going to have. That part we notched is actually for those of you that are going to be using lining, so that you know where the center front started from. Okay, I hope you understand. So the next thing now is to go ahead and measure out that part, but before then we are going to be closing up the shoulder area. So bring the back piece and place the front on it like this. You can see right side facing. So just go ahead and stitch up the shoulder. I hope you understand. So guys, after stitching up the shoulder, this is what we are having now. The next thing now is to go ahead and measure around this part. So from that center front, that part where the belt is going to start from, not at the hem part, you are going to start measuring up to the other point of the center front. I hope you understand. So when I got there, I got 52 inches. Then you are going to add extra 2 inches to that. So it's better for you to have excess than shortage. So the next thing to do is to cut out the band, and this is what we have. So the length of this band is actually 4 inches. That is how I want it to be. So when you fold it into two, you're going to have 2 inches, okay? And by the time you stitch out half inch from it, you'll be left with 1.5. So if you feel that this band is too big, you can actually reduce it, okay, to 1 inch. It depends on what you want. Then the next thing is to get the midpoint of the band. Then also you get the midpoint of the back neckline. So fold the shoulder area like this. Make sure they meet at the same point. Then you're going to notch the middle of the back neckline. I hope you understand. So after doing that, the next thing you are going to do is to fold in this band into two now. Get the midpoint of that band and place it at the midpoint of the neck area like so. I hope you understand. Just watch what I'm doing like this. Then I'm going to hold this with my pin. So make sure you hold it down with your pin so that it doesn't shift away from that point. Then the next thing, you take it all the way to that center front up to this point. You can see that point there. Stop it right there. Then you stitch all the way to the other side of the center front towards the wrap. Stop it there. So guys, after stitching it down, this is what we are having. You can see how the band is looking. So this actually need proper ironing, so go ahead and iron it out. There was no light when I was making this tutorial. My area, I don't understand, we don't normally have light. So after doing that, guys, the next thing now is to stitch up the side. by the seam allowance you gave, okay, when you were drafting it out. So mine was 1.5. I'm going to actually use 1.5, and I will trim off the excess at that part, okay. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch up the side, and I've also hemmed the bottom part. You can see, so this is the band. We have this part. Now we are going to measure out what we have at this area. So after measuring, I got 3.5 inches. You can see, just take note of that. Now 3.5 inches into 2 making 7 inches plus 1 inch allowance making 8. So that is the length of this belt. You can see this is the belt. You are going to fold it like this into 2, and you are going to give like a shape at that part. Then the other bottom part is going to be open. You're going to turn it out from that part. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it up. This is the belt, you can see. So you cut out 2 of it because the belt is going to be at both sides of the wrap, okay. So I'm going to just cut out this side, turn it out to the right side. So after doing that, guys, this is what we have. Now I'm going to fold in ½ inch like this on this open part, fold in ½ inch and insert this part in. Just insert it in to give us like a neat finishing. So I've gone ahead to do it on this other part, and you can see how neat it's looking. So just do it that way and top stitch on it, okay. So after doing that, the next thing you are going to do is to trim off the armhole and attach your sleeve, okay. So for the sleeve part, I've gone ahead to cut out this fabric. The sleeve is a simple sleeve. So look at the fabric, I folded it into 2. So this is one of the sleeve, and on fold I measured out the width, which is 12 inches. Then the length is actually what you want, how long you want it to be. I think mine was around 26 inches and it was still short. So just go ahead and make it longer than this if you actually want it long, okay, because it's going to have elastic and the elastic is going to ruche it up. So therefore just make it longer than mine, okay. So after doing that, you go ahead and shape the upper part. Just shape the upper part of the sleeve. It's nothing much. Then open it up like this and get the midpoint. So after getting the midpoints, you divide what you have from the cap sleeve all the way to the hem, divide it and get the midpoints. So after getting the midpoint, guys, this is what we have. Now I'm going to measure what I have there, which is 13, and I'll take it all the way to the side, forming a straight line. I hope you understand. So let me just turn it this way for you guys to see it better. So after doing that, guys, now from that point I marked all the way to the hem, I'm going to just measure what I have, which is 13. On that 13 at the hemline, I went up by 1 inch, which is going to be the folding allowance, okay. So just fold this part by 1 inch at that part. Now we'll be left with 12 inches. 12 inches divided by 2, 6. Get the midpoint, which is the 6, and as you can see what I'm doing, I marked it there. So these lines now is where I'm going to be placing my elastic. So get your elastic. This is about ½ inch elastic. So just get it like this, and you're going to place it straight and stitch on the elastic. So while stitching, make sure you drag the elastic, okay. Make sure you drag the elastic, okay, and stitch on it. So after doing that, guys, I'm going to fold the bottom part, and after that I'm going to attach it to the top, and that is the end of the tutorial. So guys, this is what the final result is looking like. You can see how beautiful it is. So if you have not seen the making of this trouser, I'm going to drop it on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. This trouser is really beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my ass.